Heading to a crypto dinner in Loudoun County, Virginia in a little while. The US is dominating in crypto, Bitcoin, etc. And we are going to keep it that way. This is coming right from Donald Trump. Of course, he is going to this crypto dinner. A lot of people are excited. Bitcoin obviously is breaking towards all-time highs, has gotten, the whole world talking about whether people are exposed to crypto or not. The whole world is talking about this Bitcoin that is sitting at $110,000 plus, which again is historic. A lot of people, want to not realize this, but the crypto boys really understand, the magnitude of this. But if you're looking across the board here, guys, we're seeing tremendous amount of green today. Double-digit gainers actually for a lot of coins, which again is always nice to see. As far as XRP is concerned, XRP is up about 1.5% with the price currently sitting at $2.41. Valuation at 142 billion, almost in the 24-hour trading volume at about $3.3 billion. But before we get into any further, as always, just a quick disclaimer: anything on this channel is not financial advice. Always do your own due diligence and research when you are investing in crypto. So Eric Trump says, I hope you listen. This is just the beginning of this incredible ride, which of course, hashtag Bitcoin. And moving forward, take a look at this. Cynthia Lumens once again says Americans are ready to upgrade our reserves from gold to Bitcoin. And again, in terms of the potential, they understand, the potential that this would have. Gold currently has a valuation of about $22 trillion. Bitcoin has a valuation of about 2.2 trillion. That's a 10x difference. So if this were to happen, they know damn well what's gonna happen for Bitcoin's price. If they were to, say we are adding, Bitcoin as, the reserve, it's going to be a complete revolutionary moment for the entire space. Moving forward, look at this. Before we look into this, take a look at this. Brad Gerlinghouse reposted this. You can see there are a ton of new exciting features coming out of, XRP Ledger very soon. Let's talk about DevNet and how you can help with the development process, even if you know nothing about C++ or even how to code. Some big things, being hinted. Let's see what happens. But I really wanted to go over what Smoke says. A very interesting take, and I agree with this. So I wanted to share with you guys. So, why is BlackRock holding off, to file an XRP ETF? This is something we've been discussing. The big boys are still missing. The likes of Fidelity, the likes of BlackRock. BlackRock isn't moving on an XRP ETF yet, even though XRP is one of the most in-demand altcoins for an ETF. Here's why: short-term regulatory uncertainty. The SEC still hasn't fully defined whether XRP and other crypto assets are securities or commodities. Even though courts have ruled XRP isn't a security, the SEC keeps delaying ETF decisions, and not just for XRP, but for multiple other assets as well. Approvals are now pushed into June or October. Regardless, I think it's going to happen, regardless if it happens in the next month or not. It is going to happen. BlackRock is waiting for full regulatory clarity before making a move, and this is something I've said day in, day out. If you've been following my channel, you understand, what we discuss on a regular day-to-day basis. This is something I've emphasized so much that these guys are waiting, and they are well aware. Don't get that twisted. They are well aware of the demand XRP has. They are well aware of all the other filings that are happening and how XRP is leading the wave. So let's not get that mixed up. They know what's going on, but I think I totally agree with what Smoke is saying. They're waiting for a little bit more clarity. So you can see new institutional grade derivatives. Big investors use futures to hedge and manage risk. Bitcoin and Ethereum have high volume CME futures. XRP launched CME futures on May 19th with $19 million in volume on one day. It's a major milestone, but XRP futures market is still new. Institutions tend to wait for consistent activity and deeper liquidity before getting involved. Liquidity not strong enough yet. XRP has a strong market depth and is one of the top altcoins in the category, but ETFs are required high and stable liquidity to handle large inflows and outflows. The SEC watches this closely. BlackRock may be waiting for XRP's liquidity to mature further. Focus on what's already working. BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF and Ether ETF are pulling in massive inflows. Right now, BlackRock is focused on scaling what is already performing. competitive timing. XRP and Solana are leading the ETF application activity. BlackRock may be watching how SEC handles these filings before jumping in. They're waiting for a stronger demand and better regulatory environment. BlackRock is simply waiting. They're waiting for clearer rules, deeper market maturity, and more sustained demand before making a calculated move. And I could not agree more. This is put so nicely. Shutter to smoke. I 100% agree that, this is what these guys are really waiting for. But if you're looking at the dominance, dominance actually did go down over the last few hours. We actually wicked down to 63.87%, but it has been able to claim back up to 64%. As far as BTC is concerned, Bitcoin is still hanging in the price discovery mode, sitting at $111,000. We might see a daily candle close here once again, potentially even pushing us to a new all-time high in the next few hours to come. So I don't want to change the fibs levels right now. I'm waiting. Then I will extend the fib levels accordingly. If you're looking at XRP, XRP is obviously in this upwards trajectory. You guys can see we saw a wick up to $2.45, got stopped out there. When dominance did go down just earlier today, you did see actually XRP have a positive reaction to that, but the 23.6 is the exciting zone. Once we get into this, once we close in here, that's where excitement really becomes high, in my opinion. But of course, retail is starting to come back to the crypto space. You're starting to see everyone becoming moon boys again. Obviously, when the king of the market performs the way it is, a lot of people tend to keep an eye out on altcoins. But these are sophisticated investors that actually have exposure to crypto more than 5-6 years. In terms of a grand scheme of things for retail side, it's still quite gray because altcoins are still not outpacing the way they expect. But let me know down below what you guys think. Thank you for all your support. We'll see you later in Crypto ZX and peace out.